been trying to draw upon the earth. Now, world-renowned sculptor Andrew Rogers is set to continue that tradition. He is on a mission to create land art on a mega scale.
These lines translate into about 7 kilometres of stone walls.
Drawing on the culture and history of the land,
I wanted to really find symbols that resonated with the people.
and combining the traditional techniques of the local people with the mega earth-moving technology of the modern world.
When you see something like this, it's like a reminder of history.
His creations leave a valuable message for those to come. In this episode, set amongst the jagged landscape of Cappadocia in Turkey, with nomads, whirling dervishes and underground cities, the land is a blank canvas for Andrew to explore powerful questions about our humanity through his thought-provoking and logistically challenging artworks. This is a grand art adventure on a mega scale.
Here in Cappadocia, across a mountain valley, I am going to create 12 land art sculptures about time and space. These works will connect with the people of this land and their rich heritage, some of it long forgotten. I will use symbols from their past, and together we'll leave a message for those who come, to be shared from the ground and viewed from the sky.
Cappadocia is known for its breathtaking volcanic landscape and its complex networks of tunnels, underground cities and churches. This area has hosted Assyrian and Hittite communities, as well as Byzantine, Seljuk and Ottoman civilizations. Today, tourists are drawn to the area for its rich history, culture and unparalleled scenery. It's a land that holds great fascination for all that travel through it, where the passage of time can be seen in the tapestry of buildings, markets and architecture. Andrew is here on an enormous mission. His goal today is to find the perfect location for what will become the largest collection of land art in the world. Here, near Gorome, in the Karadak Valley, he will create 12 massive sculptures that will stretch over more than 2.5 kilometers of valley surface. They will be sculptures that communicate the mythology and culture of the past, using inscribed virtues and universal mathematical concepts. Using hundreds of tons of local rocks, 1,000 local stonemasons and other workers, Andrew will take over 3 years to create 12 structures or drawings on the earth.
I've called this land art project Time and Space because these dimensions create the framework for our existence. This work is about the interconnectedness of all people between the past and the present and through memory. I came to Turkey several years ago when I was commissioned to create 2 bronze sculptures in Istanbul. The first sculpture was the Rhythms of Life, located at the Garanti Bank headquarters. It was particularly rewarding to see this work installed in such a grand historic city. Next, I had a commission to create a sculpture called Unfurling at the Borasan Art Museum. It was a challenge to use materials in a new and different way that combined the heaviness of bronze with these weightless, transcendent folds.
The sculpture overlooks the Bosphorus Strait, which separates Europe from Asia, a legendary passage between East and West.
The sculpture you see behind me is by Andrew Rogers, and it's called Unfurling. It's one of our favorite pieces in the collection because it has this feeling of lightness And I think Andrew's work really underlines this fact, and it's a great way to raise consciousness.
Starting something as bold and ambitious as time and space is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. The challenge for Andrew is to create work that communicates a message.
It's so important that we get this right before we get there, because you've got all of these people waiting to do something and you can't have them standing around. These plans are vital because of the scale that we work on and the distances, and these lines translate into about 7 kilometres of stone walls. In doing the research to see what I was going to build in Cappadocia, I wanted to really find symbols that resonated with the people. And I came across this Seljuk tomb, which is about 400 years old. And on one of the panels of this tomb is carved this beautiful palm tree. And we took this image and we've put it into a plan, and we're going to translate it into a 100 square metre structure. This image is a very famous image in the area because Cappadocia means the land of the beautiful horse. People really like this symbol because they're still interested in horses, they still ride horses, and the horse is part of their history. This is a symbol of strength. It comes from the Seljuk culture. It's a very ancient symbol that everybody's familiar with. My mind never rests. This is where my mind has the opportunity to roam without hindrance. Well, it's great to have some quiet time to think what we need to do to make Turkey happen. There's a lot of people, a lot of logistics, a lot of arrangements, people coming from all over the world, so we have to make it all work.
Well, I think it's interesting to go back, because if one thinks of the idea of the geoglyph, then it's an idea which has been around in various continents from various sort of civilizations. That wonderful white horse in Oxfordshire in England, for instance, goes back to the Bronze Age. One of the things which I think is characteristic of all of these geoglyphs, whether it's the Nazca lines in Peru or the chalk exposed geoglyphs in England, they're all linear. So in that respect, I think Andrew is following a very, very ancient tradition. I think Andrew is different in that he moves into the local situation, makes a link with the culture, with the history, and very definitely wants to involve a considerable number of the indigenous or local people. He's moved into, I suppose, what you'd call installation arts. He's explored the whole notion of the geoglyph, and that has been a whole new area for him, working on an incredible scale and working, of course, in a great number of different countries.
Here in Turkey, Andrew will build 12 sculptures. The first 6 will be the gift, siren, sustenance, grind, strength, and the rhythms of life. Working with local community.
So what we are building here comes from your history. And you remember, what we build is not really about the structure, it's about an idea. So this is the palm tree.
Palmiye ağacı.
I am told here it's called a tree of life.
The symbols have been chosen in collaboration with community elders and are easily recognized by locals representing an important aspect of the region's heritage.
It has to last a long time, and this is about history and heritage, your history. So we want it to be beautiful.
Working closely with the mayor's office, Andrew can gain valuable feedback on the themes and working methods he will be employing.
Bu gerçekten bölge için güzel bir şey. Dünyanın dört bir tarafında değirmen taşının olması, bir orada Kapadokya'nın atın olması, sabah içerisindeki geçmişe dönelik yaşanmış kültürel değerlerinin bir yansımasıdır.
This is a half man and half bird. This comes from one of your ancient buildings not very far from here. Who has seen this image?
Bunu daha önce gören var mıydı diyor.
So I hope you bring your friends and your family here and you tell them that you helped build this.
From there, in a line, this one.
Buradan başlıyoruz abi.
Not this one, but this one. They will have to take the stones first.
Andrew works with a team of architects who help supervise the build. Tidhar Becker oversees the work on Siren.
Who is working with you, bro? Some of the workers here work with us since the first project. So they know we're crazy. They're all prepared for our crazy ideas. What's amazing with these workers, they won't complain. They won't say it's not possible. Everything is possible for them. They just have to do that. And it's a great state of mind.
Legend has it that the siren, whose beautiful songs could lure sailors to their death, had the head of a human and the body of a bird. Siren will be built using the dry stone method of construction, a centuries-old technique that uses stones without mortar, similar to ancient stonework in the Lion Gate of Mycenae in Greece and Machu Picchu in Peru.
This work is as good as the Incas. Look how little the gaps are between the rocks. It's fantastic.
Lorki, 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 kız saçına lorki, ayran içmiş, karnı şişmiş, kız saçına.
Siren is complete, and the workers are delighted with the result.
Sefer, lorki, 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 sefer.
The other sculptures are now starting to take shape. The double-bodied lion, known as strength. Sustenance, representing the tree of life. And grind, derived from an ancient millstone that belonged to the village of Gorome.
Must be vertical, yeah? Must be this, must be in line with that.
Aynı hizada.
Vertical. Okay, have to remember.
We're building together this sculpture. They are wonderful people, you know. Because they are very professional, it's considered a very highly respected profession here to build. Not everyone can do that. They learn that.
Andrew has spent time exploring nearby towns and villages. It's here that many of the symbols can be found.
For generations, this palm tree has been a source of sustenance for the local people.
The double-bodied lion is a widely accepted symbol for strength. A local weaver is also using ancient symbols in her work that reflect the cycle of life. Through the threads of her loom, she can tell an entire life story, a beautiful biography written without words. She speaks the same language and is using many of the same symbols. The networks of underground tunnels, churches and dwellings provide inspiration for Andrew, as do early Christian frescoes seen above and 8 stories below ground, and the pagan symbols such as Siren.
This millstone in the Gorome town mill has been used for generations to grind flour for making bread. We've been invited home by one of the workers to taste some traditional homemade Turkish bread. The aroma of the baking fills the courtyard. Thank you. Oh, fantastic. Beautiful. This is amazing to see because this is a grinding wheel on the site that was found, and it's probably 1,000 years old. Here you can see the inner circle of the grinding wheel. It's very precise. There'll be lots of full circles here right around up the top of the mountain, and it'll be a beautiful form with all these circles within circles. And the stonework's really good.
Andrew and his team prepare to start construction on his signature piece, Rhythms of Life. Long lines are created to pass tons of rocks down the mountainside.
Biraz sol.
Surveyors and architects use high-tech satellite-guided instrumentation to mark the sculptures across the undulating hills, so they appear undistorted when viewed from above by balloon or even satellite. Precise planning and detailed map work are critical factors when creating land art of this unprecedented scale.
Now we have the surveyor marking each point.
Burada diyor bakın arazi ölçümlerini yapan haritacı.
So we're going to build the rock walls to follow these lines. My joy in doing this is being able to have complete freedom to do whatever I want to do. So I can choose a site, I can locate it next to wonderful history, and for me that's very special and it's a privilege. So I don't have the boundaries of a gallery space when I create this work.
It's only like something.
Architect Tamar knows this sculpture well. She helped Andrew build his first Rhythms of Life in the Arava Desert in Israel.
I worked with Andrew before, and here I thought it could be a problem that they wouldn't listen to me, and it can be hard, but it's really, really fine. This wall, muhteşem.
Muhteşem.
Very good.
Çok güzel.
Muhteşem olmuş.
Çok güzel, Celal.
Çok güzel.
Çok güzel.
Çok güzel.
The wives, daughters and mothers of Andrew's workforce also come looking for work, and Andrew is happy to take them on.
Suleiman?
Süleyman yeğenim olur.
Cousin.
Metin yeğenim olur.
He also employs a large group of nomadic Kurdish people who are camped at the base of the site.
Teşekkürler, çok teşekkür ederim.
The site becomes a meeting place for the locals, and work is often a social occasion. Workers from different ethnic groups share meals and celebrations together. Andrew and the team provide thousands of meals for the workers every day.
And with so many civilizations, the Phrygians, the Carians, the Hittites, who were living in this land where we are right now, and even the Egyptians and the Assyrians and the Sumerians, all these people have lived and passed through here, and it is actually a meeting point where East meets West, and people blend into a melting pot that has become Turkey.
So here, crossing the line, are all the things that influence our lives. And the round ball down there, the round circle,
Bir daire şeklindeki yerde
that's where we are on our lifeline. It's the subtleties of these walls that I want people to see. You see this beautiful curvature which gradually rises. When you can see the walls are not constant in their height or thickness, and you can see this wall there, it rises up quite substantially when you look at it carefully, and the wall behind it is a much thicker wall than all the others. And visually, I want people to read this as a harmonious, constant form. And that's the idea when they see it from the air or see it from a distance.
Cappadocia means the land of the beautiful horse. The horse has always been a part of Turkish culture, and forms a fundamental part of Cappadocian identity. It's the subject of Andrew's next work.
So special markers, the nostril, the mouth, the eye.
How many meters do we have in?
This outline stretches 850 metres. I've decided to call this next sculpture the Gift. Cappadocia was known throughout the ancient world for its horses, and for some, the horse made a perfect gift. The first layer can slope, then they build on top of the first layer, because otherwise they want to dig. And then they make it horizontal. They mustn't dig. That's right, everything covered. They're excellent stonemasons. We have 2 and sometimes 3 generations building together here, and they're doing a very good job. And they care about making these structures something special to share with their families and friends, now and in the future. These stonemasons take great pride in their work. But everybody needs reminding from time to time, because sometimes we take shortcuts. So you see the gaps through there? And this big stone should be here. That shouldn't be there. Out. Okay, I don't want anybody injured on this side. So don't throw the rocks, put them down. If they want to pass a big rock, you pass it over here. Tell them I don't want anyone hurt. Good morning. How are you?
Art students from Gorome are interested in meeting Andrew to learn more about the philosophy behind his mega artworks and his passion to create art without boundaries.
Well, this art is to be seen from the air, and you can't create this in a gallery. How beautiful is this today? The sun's out, the air's fresh. You can't have this in a gallery. Do you agree with me? Yes?
Yes.
Good.
The students explore the site and place their own rocks on the rhythms of life to contribute to the building process. Meanwhile, work on the Gift is coming to an end.
Yeah, I care about what the local people think. When they arrive, they think they're here just to work and shift rocks. So you have to explain to them that this is about their history and about their heritage. It's for their children and their grandchildren. So they care. God took a handful of south wind, and from it formed a horse, saying, I create thee, O Arabian. To thy forelock I bind victory in battle. On thy back I set a rich spoil, and a treasure in thy loins. I establish thee as one of the glories of the earth. I give thee flight without wings. So there's a lot to do still, yeah? You're not going to finish this for 2 days at least. So today's Wednesday, you finish this Friday with a bit of luck.
With a bit of luck, yes.
One of the many challenges Andrew faces is the weather. The team races against time and the elements to complete the first 5 earthworks before the winter rains and snow set in.
It's snowing.
My face is frozen. I don't feel them. Yo, really. It's not funny.
Over the next few days, they finally finish.
The last contribution from nature to finish off our work.
It will be several months before Andrew and his team can return to work on the next phase of the land art collection, which will require large earth-moving equipment.
I suppose I've ended up doing it because I've loved it since I've been a child, and I've admired art, and I've admired art all through my life, and I've admired sculpture, and I've related to it. So you have a go, and then you enjoy it, and you keep going.
Andrew's original inspiration for creating earth art came from the Nazca lines in Peru, a series of ancient geoglyphs that stretch over 180 miles across the Nazca Desert.
I remember the first time I saw the Nazca lines from a small plane, 25, perhaps 30 years ago. Nothing prepared me for actually seeing them spread out across the dry, windless plateau. I was floating above it, mesmerised.
Here in Turkey, these structures address the cycle of life and the interconnection of humanity throughout time and space. This work in Turkey also connects with a set of drawings on the earth that Andrew is making around the world on 7 continents.
Lots of people have drawn on the earth, but conceptually this is different. What is different about this collection of works in Turkey is that I'm ascribing values and engraving virtues into stone. Each structure carries a message. They're about an idea, not about the structure.
It was the idea of contemplation that led to Andrew's creation of a labyrinth at the McClellan Sculpture Park in Melbourne, titled A Winding Path, Search for Truth. This labyrinth was inspired by one Andrew built in Nepal, which provided a catalyst to contemplate what is important in life.
A labyrinth is a very ancient symbol. It's been used by Hindus and Buddhists. It's been used for all sorts of contemplation. So that's the idea behind a labyrinth. Having the mental discipline to find their way from the outside to the inside and back again. It's always easy to jump over the walls. It's hard to stick to a path. And that's what this labyrinth's about.
And this is one of the major statements, which is about the landscape, the contours of the landscape. It's not so much as an object as an experience in the landscape, and that's what makes it different, I think.
Wandering through a trail and the interaction of art and nature is exactly what I'm creating in Turkey. Rocks can be seen as a focus of our being. They've always been fundamental to civilization. Rocks have been built for structure, rocks have been used for tombs. When I pick up a rock, I always think about history. It grounds me in reality. It's pure nature. It's hasn't been altered or formed or touched by man. It's pure nature.
It's spring. Andrew returns to Turkey. He has 4 months to finish the sculptures that will eventually become one of the largest collections of land art in the world. Here in the valley, Andrew will build a series of column structures reminiscent of Stonehenge and other ancient stone structures, starting with a work he's called Time and Space.
This work, Time and Space, from which the series is named, is a sequence of 6-metre high basalt columns. These columns are laid out around the circumference of an ellipse, like the paths of the planets as they circle the sun. It's inspired by the mathematics of Fibonacci and the interconnectedness of humanity. We've erected the tallest column and we've got 9 more to erect. When you see something like this, it's like a reminder of history. It's pretty special.
The 10 basalt columns were sourced from a distant quarry and cut to Andrew's specifications. They weigh over 10 tons each and measure 6 meters in length. Unlike the ancient creators of geoglyphs, today we have equipment to move these into precise positions, as there is absolutely no room for installation errors.
Okay, this is a Fibonacci sequence, and it's demonstrated both in terms of height and spacing. So you know the maths of a Fibonacci sequence is 1 + 1 = 2, 1 + 2 = 3, 2 + 3 = 5, and 3 + 5 = 8. And that's the spacing between these columns and the variation in height. They've often used this formula to explain cell growth, and they can explain the swirls in a shell or the growth of different sorts of plants. It's all reflected in this mathematical formula. What we're doing here is trying to pick up the reflection of the sun on the major column of time and space. So we're using real 23 karat gold to gild the eastern and western face of the tallest column of time and space, so that every morning when the sun rises and in the afternoon when the sun sets, it will be reflected off this column.
To celebrate, Andrew takes a bold and exciting step. He invites the Borazan Istanbul Philharmonic Orchestra to do something they've never done before. Conducted by Sasha Gutzor, they perform outdoors in this remote mountain valley, surrounded by the columns of time and space.
You need to erect the two verticals.
Yes.
An important part of the planning process for the vertical columns was the construction of miniature models built to scale. These models are an effective tool for three-dimensional understanding of the design. The structure, predicting the past, may appear simple by comparison to other sculptures, but the logistics of cutting, transporting and installing basalt columns of this size are incredibly complex, and it's a challenge to install them without breaking.
Okay. I see this sculpture, predicting the past, as an arch about memory.
The arch is a powerful ancient symbol, an archetype of the many transitions humans experience, literally and metaphorically. It speaks to our subconscious about our past and provides a doorway to the future. Cut from basalt rock in an ancient quarry, these columns have been brought on trucks travelling over 2 days at only 1 kilometre per hour to make sure they get here without breaking them.
At the northernmost end of the sculpture park, I've placed 8 columns to act as symbolic sentinels of responsibility for generations to come, watching out over the land.
Andrew's latest work, Yesterday, Today and Tomorrow, is made up of 3 basalt columns. Unlike the other geoglyphs that hug the contours of the land, these commanding vertical structures can be seen from afar, drawing people into the entirety of time and space.
Yesterday, today and tomorrow is a metaphor for the eternal cycle of life, an expression of human striving and the interconnection of all humanity. enjoy this place. The people have welcomed me. I'm going to miss their warmth, their rich culture.
Andrew makes a precious last visit to one of his favourite places in town. With only 2 more sculptures to build, his time in Turkey is drawing to a close. The next day, work starts on a giant arch, 4.5 stories high, part of the sculpture called Listen.
These columns are wonderful structures. The tallest ones we're erecting are 15.5 metres tall. That's the height of a 4-storey building. They're the largest basalt columns that I know about.
The arch leads to an amphitheatre. It's created as a place of contemplation to reflect on life and the environment, and it offers an opportunity to view the entire valley and most of the sculptures in it.
We want to take it down about 40 centimeters.
Golan Levy has been helping Andrew build land art for 13 years. But this is the first time they've carved a sculpture out of the mountainside.
They're not horizontal. They're meant to be horizontal, right? That's why I said to you yesterday, step it down and have one big step on this side of it, drop slower. How are you going to do this? You're going to have to make a break and you're going to have to make them horizontal because you can't keep taking all of this off. So you need to put your heads together and go back up the top. And you might have to do this set of levels here. It doesn't matter if there's a big sheer wall that you can't do anything about there. And it doesn't matter if it all doesn't flow, but it's all got to be horizontal and perpendicular.
The big picture, we get it dictated, and then it's our job to maneuver within it and get to the best result, and also express some creativity in a way that will not interfere with the greater whole, and also probably will add to it some value. Here, we complete the arc, and we make a wall.
Duvar yapacağız diyor.
This goes out. The important thing, Memdo, is to build here the line. Very vertical, very nice.
Aynı şeyde hizada olmasına dikkat edeceğiz diyor.
And to complete the curve very nicely. To have a nice curve.
No stone's a problem. No stone left unturned.
Andrew's attention to detail pays off, and both the arch and the amphitheatre, known as Listen, now combine in these contemporary ruins to create an imposing structure that resonates with the others. Listen to the silence of the land. A Day on Earth is the last sculpture to be finished. A series of 12 9-metre-high basalt columns will be engraved with 22 virtues, representing the aspirations of mankind for a life of decency and tranquility.
So they're special, but stone's been intrinsic to civilization forever, and it's great to touch and feel. Rock and stone brings you back to the fundamentals about the earth and what's important in sustenance and all of these critical things.
The walls of the outer rectangle are built using the golden section, a mathematical ratio that goes back to the ancient Greeks and has been used to build structures as diverse as the Taj Mahal in India and the Acropolis in Greece.
Okay? All right.
One by one, the massive columns are moved into place. All artists have their materials, but when yours are monoliths of these proportions, they're not like a dab of paint that can be wiped off a canvas. These are massive basalt columns, weighing up to 45 tons each.
Okay, well today I think the most exciting thing is putting up this stone lintel, which I would say weighs at least 20 tonnes, if not a bit more, and it's going to be put up 9 metres in the air. And the skill is to position the fixing devices so that when you lift it, that they're accurate.
Dur bayım bakın öyle dur. Öyle dur. Tam gelmesi lazım diyor. Ağır ağır indir bakalım.
So we've just placed a 20-ton lintel on the 9-metre high columns, and we're just testing it that everything fits before we glue it into place to make sure that it's safe.
The colonnade ends at a structure called the Altar of Contemplation, which, like the amphitheatre in Listen, has also been carved out of a rocky outcrop.
Wherever there's no rock, I want him to take the soil away.
You enter it from an archway that signifies the importance of memory.
This rock where we've started in the centre has to be flat-faced. These ones next to it, I'll leave that little rough bit. Then they have to clean up all the way down so that it's all like over here. And we've exposed a lot of rock, you see. Looks good. So I think you did a fantastic job. I mean, it's so precise, it looks beautiful.
A day on Earth's mighty columns, inscribed with values and ideals, now stand tall against the Cappadocian landscape. In the future, some will come and walk through the forms, absorbing the words and their meanings, while others will see the work from the sky, absorbing the intention behind those words.
The local community all seems to like it, and they're benefiting from it, which is the idea. So it's got a practical application as well as being an interesting idea.
With its dramatic landscape, Cappadocia is one of the most breathtaking places in the world to experience hot air ballooning. Many of the region's balloon operators now include the sculpture park. This bird's eye view is truly the best way to view these incredible structures.
I mean, it's very emotional. You feel what you feel welling up inside. You can almost cry in some of the places when you actually look at it and you open yourself up and you feel it. And if there's a message from here, far away Cappadocia, it's to take time to think about who we are and where we fit within things. And that's what Andrew sculptures do. It's within proportion, man and nature and the environment, and we have to live in coexistence.
Sacred space is always separated from ordinary space. This is the idea behind this work. Sculptures like these mark out spaces different. When you walk into the work, you've entered a sacred space. These sculptures provide a place to allow for contemplation.
I have always had a passion for art. I think art makes a difference in people and in our soul and how we think about the world, but there's nothing like this today. It's breathtaking, and when you look at the spiritual aspects of it are phenomenal, and then there's also very practical aspects because this helps the economy in this area, not just building it, but people will come here for centuries. It's an incredible thing that Andrew Rogers has done here.
I suppose the thing that is astonishing about Andrew Rogers is his ambition to sort of have work in every continent in the world. That's an extraordinarily ambitious aim, and he's very, very close to achieving it.
Love, beauty, rights, truth, liberty, justice, integrity, respect, peace, and tolerance. 22 values that traverse all barriers and rest in the heart of humankind.
You can take beauty in nature like this and mess it up so easily, but he really enhanced it. And this is an incredible gift. Andrew has a great gift, and he's passing it to many people all over the world, and that's a wonderful thing.
I mean, in the last century, there is nothing built it like this. I don't remember, and there is no one, I think, see this size sculpture in the world. And it is very special for us, and we are happy because they are in Cappadocia.
I want you to think, when you look at these initially, you can think these are ruins, old ruins, but they're not really old ruins. We're surrounded by all this modern technology, but human values are not improving at the same rate as our technology. So what I've put here is 22 words that I think are very important, and they're both in Turkish and in English. And you'll see this arch, which I think is very important, has one word on it, memory. Because if we don't have memory, we don't have anything. And every day the sun catches that real 23 karat gold, and it reflects up and down the valley, just to reflect the importance of memory. This structure, titled A Day on Earth, is a reflection of all these elements. Although it's visually imposing, is a gentle invitation for a dialogue on what's important to humanity.
This has been a dream for Andrew. 12 years in the making. But for Andrew, his work is never done.
I'm looking forward to moving on to new projects in new countries, on the icy terrain of Antarctica and in Kenya, working with over 1,200 Maasai.
After 3 years working with the guys here, I think it's one of the best experiences I had with the projects with Andrew.
Sculpture, it means for me, is very special because most of them from our old history, from the Seljuk period. Most of them we get all the motif and the model from the old tomb, from Kayseri, from Nide, and then we just make the sculpture here. Then when we came and look, we remind our history, and then it will give us a very good feeling.
I know that this structure will be here for a long time, and my son, my grandson, whatever, they will be telling that my father or grandfather was here and he was interpreting here. So it's really very good feeling.
We're only coming towards the physical end. Now we have to explain to everybody what we've done. So we're having an unveiling ceremony.
All the workers, their families, and the townspeople are invited to join in the celebrations.
Thank you very much for your big effort. I would like to thank everybody that has helped me build this land art, and I want to clap you and say thank you. long-term view of history. When I do these works, they're given as a gift to the people, so they belong to the community. I don't mind what happens to it after. I just want the opportunity to put a message out there, and if people think it's worthwhile, they'll keep it. And over time, it will disappear back into the landscape. And memory to me is very important, because without memory, we're nothing.
What started as a vision over 5 years ago has finally been realized here in Cappadocia. Working with the local stonemasons, Andrew has created the largest collection of contemporary land art in the world and drawn a story upon the earth for generations to come about history, heritage, and values that are important in life. This has been a grand art adventure on a mega scale.